exciting news from the White House. The Biden administration is announcing that they will have new enforcement actions at our southern border. This news coming down in just the last hour. This all comes as Biden plans his first presidential visit to the U.S. Mexico border. That's happening next week. That trip is in connection to his meeting in Mexico City with other North American leaders. NBC News White House correspondent Mike Memoli joins us now from Washington with all of the details. Mike, great to have you. So let's talk about the president. What did he say about his travel plans to the border and about immigration enforcement measures that they're now going to take?
Yeah, hey, Vicki, good afternoon. The president saying that this trip to El Paso on Sunday will give him a chance to see firsthand some of the challenges that not just local officials but also federal agents are dealing with as they encounter thousands of migrant border crossings per day. And this is in concert with some new steps that the president rolled out. He says that what the White House is going to be doing now is expanding a program that has been successful in minimizing the number of migrants from Venezuela. It'll now cover 3 additional countries: Cuba, Haiti, and Nicaragua. Basically, these individuals who would like to come to the U.S. can apply for asylum from their home countries. If they have a sponsor in the U.S. and they pass a security screening test, they might be admitted for a 2-year period. But if they attempt to cross the border illegally, they will be exported back to Mexico. Now, the president's saying that as the administration is taking some steps to try to minimize the flow and the confusion at the border, he also needs Republican assistance going forward. Here's him really laying down a marker against the GOP. Take a listen.
As I've always done when I sit down, I'll sit down with anyone who in good faith wants to fix our broken immigration system. And it's hard. If the most extreme Republicans continue to demagogue this issue and reject solutions, I'm left with only one choice: to act on my own, do as much as I can.
So as the president expands some pathways for migrants to come to the U.S., he's also announcing some new stricter measures that would increase the number of immigration judges at the border, asylum parolee advisors as well, and ramp up the number of export flights and other transportation options to try to more quickly expedite the removal of those who cross the border illegal. Remember, we're still dealing with that Title 42 restrictions until the Supreme Court weighs in later this year.
Mike, quickly, while we have you, Republicans have criticized the president for years about not traveling to the border since he's taken office. Have we heard from any of those critics?
Yeah, not only has President Biden not gone to the border as president, he didn't go as vice president either. And so this has been a repeated attack line from Republicans. And we're hearing from some of them today repeating that it's long overdue for the president to go to the border, and that really this is more of a photo op, that they want to see more realistic solutions to deal with it. The president was asked about what those Republican criticisms were today, and he again repeated that he didn't think Republicans were serious. He also said he was waiting to go to the border until some of this uncertainty around Title 42 was cleared up, and now he has that opportunity.
All right, NBC News White House correspondent Mike Memoli. Mike, thank you.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.